Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. Today I am so excited because I am doing something that I have not yet done on my channel, which is showing you all my everyday makeup routine, and it's just gonna be so exciting. So without further ado, grab your makeup, let's get into this tutorial. This is going to be for my girls who want a nice soft glam look, something that's super simple but it's still full coverage. If you deal with like hyperpigmentation or any type of like hormonal acne, anything that you want a little extra coverage for, this is definitely for you. I obviously have to make sure I prep my skin very well. I have already washed, toned, and moisturized. Also, what I like to do is take my Vaseline, make sure I prep my lips. We've finished our skincare, and now I'm going to prep my skin with some primers. So the very first thing I like to use is my Poreless Putty Primer. This is by e.l.f. I'm just gonna take a little bit and rub this into my skin. I love this stuff because it's also moisturizing. I have drier skin and I like matte makeup. So the two things are kind of hard to coexist while trying to maintain healthy skin. So using things that are hydrating are very key to making sure like I am protecting my skin under my makeup. Next, I'm gonna go in with my Smashbox Under Eye Primer, and I believe that this stuff was like in one of those little Sephora gift bags that you probably like get on your birthday or something. It's like super itty bitty, but I have dark under eyes. So I have been really intentional about my under eye circles when I do my makeup or my skincare, making sure that they stay very hydrated. So I'm just going to pat this gently under my eyes and make sure that we are letting our under eyes slurp up all of that hydration, giving it all of that TLC, extra love. And I think that's why I really appreciate a primer. It gives your makeup something to hold on to, but you're also just creating that moisturizing barrier between what you've done for your skincare and then what is to come with your makeup. So make sure that you all are using a primer. Next, I like to take my Maybelline Fit Me powder, and I love to set in my primer. The reason why I love going in with a powder before I apply any liquids, before I do anything else, is because it really makes your foundations and concealers look filter, flawless, poreless. Not that we're trying to like hide our pores, because yeah, like we're human beings and we all have pores, and that is how toxins are able to escape our body, and we need our pores, you know what I mean? However, I love that look that makes us look like we're stepping out of the house wearing a literal like filter. It's just like, if you want that look where like you just look like you have you're walking with a literal like filter on your face, then this is like the perfect step. Look at my forehead. It takes away that extra shine. So this is also great if you have oily skin, but also if you do have drier skin, it's okay, because like I said, I made sure to really enrich and deeply moisturize my skin beforehand. Now that my skin is ready for my liquids, I like to go in and conceal any like acne scars, my under eye circles. I'm going to be taking my NYX HD Studio Photogenic Concealer. And yeah, I'm going to be taking my concealer and starting in the inner corners of my under eye. I like to swipe, gently pressing that in, and this just really helps color correct. Okay, so I've pulled back my hair with a little fluffy headband so I can really show you guys how I like to do my eyebrows. I'm going to be using my Nick K New York Auto Eyebrow Pencil, and using this spoolie, I'm going to begin to brush. I'm going to brush my eyebrow hairs in place. Next, I'm going to be sculpting my brows using the pencil. This just gives my brows the desired shape that I love. I find doing my makeup just so therapeutic. I think that it's just a great way to enhance your features, and it's a very soothing process. I'm an artist. I love to paint, I love to draw, and when I do my makeup, I feel those same therapeutic properties of just taking a canvas and adding those colors and shadows and elements that really just make you feel extra beautiful. And I think that's the same with even skincare, just like the process of taking care of yourself, the process of adding those additional steps to enhance an overall look. I think it's the process that I love. The more that you practice doing your makeup, the more that you practice your everyday skincare, the more that you're intentional about the products that you use, or just everything. I feel very just, it's a really comforting feeling to give yourself that extra love, It's a really nice feeling. It's really hard to put into words how makeup can be a very healing practice. I'm going to go in with my LA Girl Brow Bestie. This is a brow gel, and this just helps me set my brow hairs in place. I really like to start at the arch because that's where I want my eyes to be pretty dark, and I'm going to gradually work my way up towards the front of my brows to really create that gradient. I feel like my brows are the most important part of my makeup look. My brows are the feature that's just wow, your brows are phenomenal. And I think my brows, if I can get my brow shape just how I like, it really helps frame my face. So I am very patient and detailed when it comes to my brows. So the next thing I like to do to really shape my brows is going in with my light concealer. Now everybody needs a concealer that's a few shades lighter than their skin tone. This is just going to add depth and shadow and highlight to your face. Whenever you're doing your makeup, you have to think of yourself as a canvas. Any blank canvas, anytime an artist is going in, creating a portrait, they're very intentional about where to add shadow and where to add light to create a painting. The way that I have been able to practice my makeup and get better at my makeup is applying like my skills as an artist and incorporating it over into my makeup routine. So I'm able to get a nice defined arched brow by making sure that I'm going in and adding that depth underneath my brow. And this is nothing new. Girls have been doing this for years, but it really made more sense to me when I looked at the importance of adding light and shadow to my face. With that being said, I just began to hit the center of my nose because this is where light naturally hits your skin and your T-zone. So I like to emphasize where that light is hitting on my face. So we're just going to go down the center of our nose and in the center of our forehead, a little bit on our chin. And then I like to, what I've been doing lately is going in with my concealer and hitting my jaw. So there is a shadow right here, and I really want to emphasize the light right here to sculpt out the definition of my jawline. So we're going to do this on each side. I love having this concealer. The wand makes it very easy to apply the concealer. And now I am going to just let this concealer dry down. I'm actually going to blend out. So I like to color correct with a concealer that was a close shade to my skin tone. I'm gonna go ahead and blend that out because it's been sitting on my skin for a while now. I'm going to take my concealer and I want a nice bright under eye. I love a nice, beautiful, bright under eye. So we're going to go ahead and apply this concealer as well under our eyes. And we're going to allow this to dry down for a few moments. I'm going to go ahead and take my concealer that's a close shade to my skin tone, and I'm going to highlight the top of my brows. This really helps clean up the pencil marks. I love having a brow that is very defined. I know that there's a lot of people that love like the fluffy brow look, and I think it's beautiful, but for some reason I just have not been able to master that yet. Gotta stick to what you know, and I love that brow. And I'm gonna actually show you guys how I create a more like arched look later on with my eyebrows, but I am wearing bangs right now, so they are gonna be pretty much like covered, so it's gonna be okay. But okay, you guys, I know I look really crazy, but what I like to do is I like all of my concealer to get the chance to dry down before I blend them out. So while they're drying down, I like to hit the rest of my face and my neck with my foundation. So I'm gonna be using my NARS. What I like to do next is I like to take my foundation brush. I'm using this Morphe flat brush, and I will be getting it a little bit damp with my setting spray. This is the Ulta Beauty Wannabe Active makeup setting spray that I've been using. I picked it up to try it out. I like it because it has a SPF 50. As someone that deals with hyperpigmentation, it is very important to make sure that you are wearing sunscreen and using products that have that extra sunscreen in it. because like I said, it's very important for us girlies to take care of our skin. So this is what I use to dampen my brush. Now I'm going to go in and I like to use about 2 drops, and we're just going to begin to blend that out. As you guys can see, this coverage is so beautiful. I'm making sure to hit my neck and blend everything downwards and hitting the areas around my concealer. Once you've hit all of the areas around your concealer, I'm just gonna re-dampen my flat brush. And now I'm going to begin to blend out my makeup, or blend out my concealer. And I start from the edges of my concealer, right? Because I want the center of wherever I place my concealer to still be bright. Like I said, we're really focusing on giving our features more depth. So you don't want to like blend out your concealer, mixing it with your foundation. You really want the concealer to continue to do its job, and concealing in those places where you've applied it. So be very gentle when you're buffing this out and making sure that your concealer is still set in that area that you want it to be set in. So when I go to my under eye circles, I like to blend and press, and I like to press all the way up. This just like gives my face that facelift by blending and pressing back, and it really draws your face up, heightens your cheekbones, and enhances those features. If you have like high cheekbones like me, I love doing this. Once I have blended the edges of my under eye concealer, that is when I begin to gently pat and make sure that the inside of that concealer is blended. I'm gonna hit my eyeballs, my eyelids. I know blending can be a very tedious process because there's so much to blend, but honestly, this is the most important process. As someone who paints, blending is extremely important. Okay, and 9 times out of 10, if you're an artist, you're not wanting your painting to have brush strokes. With makeup, baby, you don't want any lines. You want everything to be blurred. Like, we're really trying to get that filter effect where everything is smooth and blurred. And so take your time when you blend. I like to make sure that I leave the highlight on my nose and I'm blending the edges out, leaving the middle highlighted. Now that my liquids are set, I like to go in with one more pass of my eyes. This just really helps me create that bright eye that I was referring to earlier. So I'm gonna be using my LA Girl Pro Concealer in the shade Pure Beige. Honestly, this stuff is so concentrated. You do not need a lot. I literally just squeezed out a pea-sized amount, and look at the concentration of this formula. It is just so creamy and smooth and so affordable, and so this helps me get a nice bright under eye and helps me add that highlight to my face, which I love. Alright, and now that it is set for a little, I'm just gonna begin to blend it out. I'm really blending in the sides of my nose as well. This is helping me map out that definition. I like to really enhance like my button nose, so I press that concealer on the edges of my nose as well, and we're just going to blend that up our face. All right, and now we're done with our liquids. You can go in with a contour stick if you prefer to, but I like to contour and add shadow with my powders, so that is what we're going to do. So the first thing I'm going to do when it comes to setting in my liquids is actually going in with my Morph powder. This is the Banana Rich. I'm going to immediately apply this to my under eyes. I have this beauty blender with a soft, flat edge, and this is what I like to use actually for my jaw. So I'm gonna put this on my jaw really quick in a sweeping motion and just really highlight. And as you guys can see, you can already see the difference that sculpting out your jaw gives you. I'm going to take the cornered edge of my beauty blender, press that into my powder, and then we're going to just press that into my eye. I like to press a few times and then swipe backwards. I go back in and I just add a little bit more powder and really set my under eye. I don't really like baking, so what I do is I just get my Banana Rich. I really set in my powder and then I just sweep it on off. And we're just going to pull our cheeks back, giving us that nice facelift effect. And you can see that beautiful transition when you set your makeup, when you set your eyes. It just really gives your eyes that bright glow. Oh my gosh, so beautiful. Pressing into that inner corner and sweeping backwards. Going in with your powder a second time, making sure that you're setting your under eye circles. This helps prevent any creasing. And then we're just gonna swipe back. Oh my goodness, look at that, look how bright. I like to go in with my excess powder and hit my eyelids. This creates a great base. This also helps set the concealer that we used earlier for our brows. Next, I'm going to use the flat portion of my sponge, and we're gonna hit that forehead. I forgot. I hit that forehead. There's just something about the mattifying effects of makeup, taking those liquids and setting them in place, and it just, oh my gosh, I love it. Just taking some of that powder, going down the center of my nose, taking more powder, setting my chin, and now we look like a donut. We do not want to leave our face like this. And the most beautiful part of having deep chocolatey skin is going in with your bronzers, your contouring, your shadows, and creating that depth. I think that highlighting and brightening is beautiful, but when you pay attention to creating those shadows back in your face with those dark colors and bronzers, it's just the most satisfying transition. So I'm going to be going in with my Maybelline Fit Me powder that, like I said, it was in that darker shade, and just dusting a little bit of this on my powder brush. And I'm gonna go in and really highlight, or not highlight, but apply that contour to the parts of my cheek that are darker. We're just gonna emphasize this area here. Ooh. I like to hit my temples and really frame my face with this color. Look at that. You can see. And then I'm just gonna lightly tap into my highlighted area to give it that filtered blur effect. And you guys can just see how that really adds shadow back into my skin. Now I have this very pretty bronzy, warm light to my face, where on this side I just kind of have this like bright highlight, and it's no fun. It's, you know, it's not fun. So I even like go over like just my face really with that access. I'm gonna repeat this same process with my bronzer. I really like the shade of this bronzer. It's the Morphe GLAM bronze in the shade Leader. I use this every single time I do my makeup. It's just such a beautiful warm bronzer, and I just go in and bronze my skin even more. I also like to take this bronzer and add shadow to my nose. I like to start at the underbridge of my brow and gently work my way down. I like to get really close to the center highlight that we've created earlier and blur that line. You can see that adds definition to the shape of our nose. And then you just repeat, and you can obviously tell that has just placed our nose, given our nose that like extra definition. My eye is pretty simple, so I just take my bronzer and I go in with my eyeshadow fluffy brush, starting from the ends of my eyelids. I like to sweep across my eyelids, creating like a ombre smoky eye. It like, because I have naturally dark eyes, naturally dark eyelids, I like to go and establish that look with my bronzer. Sometimes we hate our hyperpigmentation, but it's honestly can be such a really beautiful thing, because I remember a friend was like, how'd you get your eyes like that? You know, when I had no makeup on and my eyelids were just darker, and I was like, oh, they're just naturally like that. And she's like, oh, that's so cool. And I'm like, thanks. I guess it's kind of like, you know, we use all of like these brightening products and things to kind of like even out our skin tone, but sometimes the fluctuation of your skin, although it's not the funnest to go through, you can still find beauty in it, and that's what I'm learning. I'm learning that it's okay to experience fluctuation in your skin, you know, due to hormones, due to stress. Our skin is constantly changing, and it is okay, you know. Like, I feel like I sometimes hyperfixate on changing my skin and making sure my skin looks perfect all the time, and I've learned that as long as I'm human, my skin is bound to have periods where it fluctuates. And so I've learned to embrace that, allow my skin to protect me. You know, our skin is our biggest organ, and it has a big role to play in protecting us and keeping us healthy in all of our organs inside of our body. And, you know, it is constantly releasing toxins in our body. And as long as I show up and do my part and make sure I'm taking care of myself and my diet is right and I take vitamins if I need to, or make sure I am doing my skincare routine, then I just have to allow my skin to do its job. And if it fluctuates, baby girl, you know, it's okay. We're still beautiful. Next, I'm going to go in with blush. I'm using this Toffee Cake Pressed Powdered Blush. This is from ColourPop, and they're like, it's such a really pretty rosy color. Blush can really enhance your features, especially as it's getting colder outside. Having that like rosy color, it just like kind of looks really cute. Like, oh my goodness, it's cold and my cheeks are cold and I'm blushed, and it just gives you that like really, really pretty look. So as you can see, I just applied a little bit to the apples of my cheeks, and I apply a very minimal amount because I'm still afraid of blush. Like, I'm afraid of looking like red. I don't know why, but I just apply just a little bit. I like to sweep just a little bit on the tip of my nose, and it just gives me that like really flirty, feminine, girly, enchanted vibe, and I love that for me. I love that for me. I have a trick that I do all the time. Like I said, this is probably nothing new, but I don't really see a lot of people do this, but this is what I do to have really defined brows. I like to go in with a liquid liner and really define the arch and shape of my brows. So I'm just going in with this NYX Cosmetics Epic Ink Liner. I like to start at the top, like where my eyebrow arches. And I like to define that all the way to the tail. And that is like my little secret for a defined brow. That's what you want. Makeup is one of those things where you have to customize it to your own. You have to customize your makeup to your own unique features, your own aesthetic, your own personal likes and dislikes. Makeup is one of those things where you create that variation for yourself. And so now I'm going to be using these lashes. I found these lashes on Amazon. I like to go in with my Super Stronghold eyelash adhesive, put some glue on my lash line. This just helps my lashes stick. And then I'm gonna go in with my mascara, Ruby Kiss Multifunction Mascara, and it's in the shade Blackest Black. And I'm just gonna be prepping my eyelashes. I'm gonna be using like a fluffy shade. I'm gonna be using a fluffy set of lashes today. I'm gonna allow my lashes to get tacky, and while those are getting tacky, I'm going to start on my lips. I'm gonna be taking another Auto Eyebrow pencil, and it's in this very like chocolate brown, deep brown shade, and I'm going to be using it to line my lips today. I usually line my lips with any generic brown liner pencil that I can find, but I like using this eyebrow pencil because you don't have to like sharpen it, and hence why it's called the Auto Brow, and you can use it for your lips. Alright, next, another secret I like to do is I like to take a little bit of my eyeliner again. I swear, I use eyeliner for everything but my eyes, but I like to like define my lips. This eyeliner has kind of dried up a bit, so it's not like a super harsh black line. but I like to define like the corners of my mouth. And you can kind of see what it does. It definitely gives you that like filter, Instagram filter, photogenic brat's lip. And who doesn't want a brat's lip? And I'm just like giving myself those like really pouty lips. I'm gonna go in and like, I did like one line down the center of my lips to just give our face, like give our lips a little bit of shape. I'm just going to clean up the outer edges of my lip using some concealer. I'm gonna let this dry down a little bit before we add our lip gloss. Just touch up right there. And while that is drying, now it should be time to add our eyelashes. I struggle with this part of my look. To keep it real with you guys, I know we've all been there before. This is how my lashes are looking. It's honestly such a struggle. It's such a struggle for me to like get my lashes on. So bear with me. I know that we all have struggled with lashes in the past. So you're not alone. You're not alone out there if that is something that you're struggling with. But now that my lashes are on, I'm going to be taking my NYX Professional Makeup Butter Gloss, and this is in the shade Madeline. This is like one of my absolute favorite glosses. And I'm gonna be applying that to my lips. That is pretty much it. I think we're done. Let's go ahead and spray it down with our setting spray. All right, everyone. So this is the final result. You guys can see this is how my brows are looking underneath everything. But yeah, you guys, I love how this look turned out. I feel like my makeup is just set. It's seamless. It looks like I'm literally wearing a filter on my face. And it's just a very soft, glam look. Very simple to do. I think that anybody can do this. And it just looks so freaking cute. Like, I love this makeup look. It's beautiful, and it just gives you that like photogenic skin effect. Yeah, you guys, I absolutely love this. Comment down below. Let me know how you like this video and what your experience was if you tried this for yourself. And I just really love this look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give this video a thumbs up if you care. Subscribe, join the little community on my channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye.